Hey, what's up, gamers? And well, I might as well get down to what's called a first impressions type of video, which means it's a rather premature review of a game that just recently came out and has, well, been around for quite a few weeks now. That I've obviously highly anticipated for 2017 and has been postponed many after years of waiting, and well, it's finally here. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And yes, obviously I'm playing the Wii U version, and it is also one of the many launch titles for the Nintendo Switch, which I do not own yet. I'm sure I will eventually get it in the future, but yeah, and it's kind of a dumb argument really on which version is better. I'm sure the Switch version probably has, well, slightly better graphics and different type of gameplay. I'm not sure if he holds the sword in his left hand or not, but in this version he holds it in the right hand. Yep, reverting back to the Twilight Princess on Wii State. And speaking of Twilight Princess, yeah, it's just like that, basically. And it's, again, a rather dumb argument, and it's more of a matter of opinion, really, on whether the GameCube or Wii version is better of Twilight Princess, just like whether this version or the Switch version is better. But enough of that, let's get to it. Of course, this is going to be a footage-free review, and I'm probably going to be leaving some stuff out, because I haven't really played all, and beaten the whole game. But I played enough of it to get a full, genuine impression of what I think of it. And not to mention, there's probably going to be some spoilers in this, so you might not want to watch the video otherwise. But otherwise, let's get to the gameplay, which, okay, first the plot. It's as simple as you can get. Hundreds of years have passed by, which they thought Ganon was officially defeated, and again, he rises back to pretty much ruling the whole world of Hyrule. And, well, Link, as you guessed, is... well, he doesn't wear the green tunic outfit, even though you can get different outfits. And obviously he awakens to find himself pretty much forgotten of memory and everything. And, well, he has to go out and he finds that the land of Hyrule is in ruins and has to pretty much take it all back and defeat Ganon. So there's a lot to do in this game, first of all. And the one thing you will notice about this game is, yes, it is definitely a... open world type of game. It's free to explore. You can do whatever you want in any order, and that's for any Zelda fan that was waiting for that type of gameplay. Well, this is the answer to your prayers right here, but with a few drawbacks here and there. So otherwise, yeah, that's the first thing you'll notice about this game, and the fact that so it's more free range, and the map is enormous. That's all I gotta say about it. I mean, there's so much to explore in this game. There's so many different, environments. I mean, it all will be familiar to any Zelda fan. I mean, you got the basic, grassland in Hyrule. You got the castle, which is obviously in ruins, and they've got the Tower of Time with the goddess, where you have to, get heart pieces or upgrades, I should say, as well as stamina upgrades. Yet, reverting back to the Skyward Sword type of gameplay. And the graphics and everything are gorgeous. I mean, that's all I gotta say about this game. Yep, as you guessed, Link is an adult. And so there's a lot to do in this game and a lot to cover. You get not one sword, but you can carry more than one different types of melee weapon swords, like tree sticks and electric ones, ice ones, fire ones, but there's a limit to how many you can carry. And that also, in your inventory, you can get upgraded as well by collecting seeds, which you have to know the location of where they are hidden in the map, as well as returning it to a certain guy with his, shaker instrument tools, or whatever you call them. Yeah, you can get upgrades on your swords, and you're limited to how many bows and arrows you can carry. Of course, you get different types of arrows, regular ice, fire, and bomb arrows, and shock arrows, and so forth. So there's a lot to collect in this game. And of course, to replenish your health, you have to collect different types of food, and yes, you can even cook the food to make it better, to improve it, and help your stamina, and speed, and so forth. There's a lot to really focus in on this game, and I like how it does pay attention to the realistic aspects, even though it's still a fictional video game, but it does pay attention to more of those things. And of course, the environments as well. Like I said, you got the grassland, you have lands that get really cold, that if you're not wearing the proper outfit, then you're gonna freeze and start losing health. And you got a place that's really hot by the volcano where the Gorons are. Yeah, like I said, you have all the familiar environments, but the environments do affect your character if you're not wearing the proper clothing. You got the desert, where all these things come out of the sand, and you're going to get a lot of enemies you have to fight. And yes, it can be really much more difficult this time around, and can be occasionally frustrating if you get taken out, because yeah, it is annoying that you'd have to, you know, keep using your swords and bows and arrows, and even they can sustain damage and eventually break. So you're going to have to keep collecting them, and that's the beauty of it, though. You got to collect items from enemies, and of course collect mushrooms and all sorts of food and stuff to help cook food and make it better, to help replenish more hearts. You can get berries. So yeah, it's a lot of new stuff as well as familiar stuff, and that's what I like about this game. Yes, of course you got dungeons, but yeah, they can be pretty tough and tricky to figure out. But most importantly, you have the things called shrines. Basically, they're these things that you go underground, and you have this little tablet-like thing to basically upgrade your map, where you have to climb these towers to, otherwise nothing's going to come up on your map, because there's, like I said, it's an open world type of game, so there's so many locations that you have to unlock and get used to. And of course, getting down from the towers is really cool, because you get eventually a glider, which, well, as you guessed, you glide. But of course, there's a limited amount of time you can stay in the air for, unless you, as you said, upgrade your stamina meter, which also helps when you're climbing rocks. But as I said, you know, you got to pay attention to the environmental things. Like, it could rain, and there's different times of the day that, you know, because obviously it runs around a 24-hour clock. Well, not, you know, for 24 hours. I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto style, so it's almost like they took Grand Theft Auto and put it in a Zelda game. But, you know, it runs, I think every minute is like a second. And you can, if you come across a fire, of course, you have to sit and, you know, try to warm yourself if you're not properly dressed for the cold. Or you can cook stuff, as I said, or you can sit there till a certain time of the day, like till morning, till afternoon, till nighttime. But you got to be careful, of course, at nighttime, like the Ocarina of Time, these skeleton guys come out of the ground. So it's best to really do stuff in the daytime. Yes, you can get the horse, and yep, as I said, there's dungeons, and you get, you know, Zora's Waterfall. You can get different types of outfits you can buy, collecting rubies. So all the familiar stuff is there, and that's what I like about this game, and it's definitely a surefire win for any Zelda fan. So that's all I really have to say about the game for now. I'm still playing it right now, but I think I've gotten a full, genuine impression enough to really say what I think about the game. For any diehard Zelda fan that has really been longing for an open world, free range type of game, you know, in this genre, well, this will be the answer to your prayers right here. I could tell Nintendo definitely took their sweet time with this one, and after all the waiting, man, I could definitely say it paid off for sure. But if you don't like, you know, if you like doing everything in a certain order that the game dictates for you to do, well, then just stick to the old ones like Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, and so forth. Otherwise, this one, as I said, is more for doing stuff in whatever order you want to do. Even though you have to upgrade and get certain items and so forth and know your way around, as well as, you know, yeah, as I said, you got a lot of main missions in the game, and your main mission, as you can guess, is defeat Ganon, as well as a bunch of other ones, and you even got side missions as well to do for other people. You can go into the village, like with a Kuriako village, which I will say reminds me a lot more of China, really. I mean, anybody else I'm sure can agree with me on that one. And occasionally there is some spoken dialogue, but for the most part, it's obviously all text. And, well, for some parts, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So, otherwise, I would say this game definitely surpasses the hype after all the time of waiting, and I think it's an excellent transition between the Wii U and the Switch. As you know, well, I'm not going to say it again, I got the Wii U version, so I think it's an excellent swan song for the Wii U. I'm glad it came out, and I'm glad it saw the light of day for this console, even after some of the speculation that it was only going to be released for the next-gen Nintendo console. But I'm glad it saw the light of day on the Wii U. It's an excellent way to finish off this console. If you have a Wii U, well, this is definitely just another reason, aside from Mario Kart 8 and Mario 3D World and Splatoon and so forth, to get a Wii U. Even though the console has sold very poorly the past couple of years and has lousy third-party support, I think this is the last piece of life out of the console. I'm glad it saw the light of day, as I said, and, well, it's definitely a grand adventure. So, till next time, happy gaming.